to talk about this topic specifically, what I would tell my 18-year-old self. Because this week, it's back to school and getting everything, for the children together and ready and things like that. And just a normal, week at home with the boys. And we received a phone call. And y'all know what happens when you get those phone calls, right? So it was a phone call that was very life-changing. And it's so much so that I had to sit down for a minute, Oh, thank you, Miss Goddess A. She said, leveled up and bills are getting paid. Blessings. So thank you so much. Thank you for that donation. I appreciate you. Y'all are feeling generous on this Friday. So I got the phone call, and it was one of those phone calls that kind of halts all activity and makes you sit down a little bit, because I was shocked by the phone call. So basically, in the phone call, there has been a death in my family. And I am not personally related to this person, but she is related to my children. And so it was a shocker. It was definitely a shocker. This person is same age as me. We went through life together, through adulthood, through teenage years together. And it was deep. And so it was very sobering, because you realize your mortality is put right in front of your face. Because if this person is the same age as you, went through some of the same experiences as you did, and this person is no longer here, then that makes you kind of evaluate what you have going on in your life specifically, and what that means for you, Somebody said, oh no, what happened? Well, we don't know. Nobody knows. This person has never, as far as anybody knows, ever been to the hospital other than to have children. Exactly like me. She has 3 children just like I do. So yes, it's pretty tough, pretty shocking, what? Of all the people in the world that would pass away, I would have never, ever in 100 years even dreamed that it would be this person, right? So that caused me to evaluate some things. I have been having a break from social media, just been spending lots of time with my children, and, just thinking about life in general. So I wanted to do a YouTube video about it. So what I would tell my 18-year-old self, what would I tell her? I would tell her that, first of all, things are not as serious as you are making them. Everything is not a life or death situation. Everything does not require your attention. You can let some stuff go. The things that are important to you now absolutely will not be important to you in about 2 years. For real. The stuff you're stressing over, the stuff you are complaining about, the stuff you are whining about is not important. When I was 18, I was very high strung. Everything needed to happen right now. I was very tenacious. That's what I will call my 18-year-old self, very tenacious. I did not hear the word no. It was go, 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 push, 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 scream, cry, fight, whatever. I'm going to get what I want, period. And that was it. There was no stopping me. If I wanted it, it was going to be mine. And that's a great quality to have, but at 18, you don't know what you don't know. So that's one of the first things that I would say, is that the things that you are going through now are not as important as they may seem. They are not as important as they may seem. Another thing that I would tell my 18-year-old self is that you need to figure out money. You need to figure out money. You need to get a very, very strong, very healthy, very purposeful understanding of money, because you will need money from now until forever. I did not have any idea of what money was, or what credit was, or anything financial. I was afraid of money. I was afraid to know about money, to talk about money. I just wanted to get it and spend it. So I was working. I was, I wasn't working at 18, but my idea of getting money was to go to work every day, go to college, get my education so that I could get a good job and be a nice little Barbara the Builder. Oh, but have times changed. So, of course, I did not figure out money. I did not have an understanding of money until very later in life. And I think had I known about money and the way it works and how you can make it work for you a lot sooner, it would have helped me a great deal in the long run. So I would have gotten a very healthy understanding of money. Also, I would have told my 18-year-old self to make sure he has money. Lord have mercy. Make sure he has money. Make sure he has money. Because you can deal with a lot of things if he has money. No money is not everything. No money is not going to make you happy, or but lack of money will certainly make you sad and depressed. So make sure he has money, because at 18 I was always on point, baby. Always. Let me tell y'all how fine I was. This one, I was so fine when I was 18. I'm talking about hair down my back, I was wearing my natural hair at the time, and it was it was curly and full, and everybody was getting into the natural hair stuff, and so I was, all my little juice and berries and everything was just, ooh, girl, I was just fine. I was really I wasn't at my prime, but I was, I was in shape, didn't have to work out, could eat whatever I want, and was just, I was in good tip-top shape at the time. So since I knew that I was going to be on point, I was going to be sexy, I was going to make sure I was, there. Since I knew that, I would have definitely gone for men who were well established, men who were already there, because I was trying to get there. Another thing I would have told my 18-year-old self is that assuming the lie is the best. Assume the lie in everyone, not just men, but also women. Women lie, people lie, and that's just the way that it is. If you guys have watched my channel for 20 minutes, you know that I'm very honest. To a fault sometimes. I am really honest. I share myself, I share my experiences, and all of those things with whoever. Clearly, the world at this point. And at 18, I assumed that everyone was as open as me and honest as I am. And that is not the case. Some people are in your life to use you only for benefits that they are receiving. That is something I would have told my 18-year-old self, because I did not understand that. I couldn't understand why I was so open and I tell the truth and I want to keep it real. And most people are not that way. Most people are not that way. So I would have told my 18-year-old self that everybody is going to lie. And that's it. My friend died 5 years ago in her 30s. She was a teacher with 2 young children, the only child of elderly parents who depended on her. It was a real wake-up call for me. Yes, and that is exactly what just happened to me. This lady is the exact same age as me, same number of children, no will, no nothing in place. This lady literally was fine at like 2 o'clock. And by that evening, she was dead. So yes, I would tell my 18-year-old self that you should also be lying. You should also be lying. Because only the strong survive. And when you are open and honest about everything, and you don't assume that people are out for their own pleasures or their own gain, then you end up on the short end of the stick a majority of the time. So I would assume the lie, and I would tell her that she should also be lying. Then I would also tell my 18-year-old self that that you should re-examine some of the things that you were taught. Everything that you are taught is a reflection of the experience of your parents, and that is all that they know. Your parents give you, and your parents gave you what they knew and what they experienced from their point of view. And that's all that they can give you. They can't give you other perspectives. They can't give you other sides of the story. All they can give you is one side of the story. But there are a million sides to the story. There's a million ways to come to an understanding. There's a million ways to learn and to love and to feel and to do and to be. There are a million different ways to do everything. So you should consider that what you have been told may not be your truth. It is the truth of your parents and maybe even your grandparents, but that may not be your truth, and it is your duty to find your own truth. Tell her not to focus on marriage yet and enjoy experiences dating and be the prize. Yes, at 18, don't concentrate on being married at all. At 18, being married should be the very last thing on your mind. The very last thing on your mind. Would I not focus on marriage? No, I would not. At 18, I would not be focused on marriage, having babies, planning a wedding, none of that. None of that. Not at all. Because I think that you're too young. You should be living and experiencing and growing. So, no. At which age men will start to take you seriously as a woman? Men don't take women seriously. They don't. They see women as something to conquer, and they come up with ways to do that, and they do that. A man wants to be married and wants to settle down when his pee-pee stops working and when no other women want him. That is when a man wants to settle down and be married. And not a minute before that. He's living his best life. So that's why I would tell a woman who is 18 to live. Hey, love from Kenya, Miss Michelle. Hey, from Kenya. How about choice of friends at 18? At 18, you should know that friends come a dime a dozen. Friends are a dime a dozen. You have friends for this season of your life, and then you don't have friends for the next season of your life. You have friends for a time. Friends come and go. Some friends stay, and some friends just don't. So friends are an option. If you have them, great, but they're not a necessity for your life at all. At all. Would I say practice hypergamy and not limit yourself to one man if he isn't taking care of everything? Yes, you should date more than one man. Absolutely. You should date more than one man. You should date as many men as you possibly can. About friends. Could you
all day, every day
advise to get into girl cliques or male friends instead? What benefit more from male personality? I have a video that talks about men and women being friends, and it's called You've Got a Friend. And I don't believe that men and women can be friends. There's no reason for a man to want to be your friend unless you're incredibly ugly and he doesn't even want to be with you anyway. Then he's probably going to put you in feeling like I wasted the last 3 years of my life. Jalapeno pizza, you should start living your life today. For all you know, the last 3 years were a figment of your imagination and they don't even exist. How do you know that you weren't delusional and you temporarily had a lapse of brain function or something? How do you know you weren't in a coma for the last 3 years? You don't know. All you know is that today you're functioning. Today you're experiencing the life the way that you are. And you should do that to the fullest because, man, just like the person in my life who passed away, she wasted her entire adult life never being married, having child after child after child with a man that she knew did not want her. And this is my perspective from the outside looking in. Maybe she didn't feel like it was a waste of time. Maybe she feels like, it was great for her to do that. But knowing how young she was and knowing that she left those young children without a mother, without a husband in her life, it just is sad. It saddens me to know that there are people living like that. So she was stuck in about 20 years ago, and you're stuck in 3 years ago. Life is too short, baby. The whole point of this, me being life is too short to be stuck on shoulda, coulda, woulda. Oh, I wish I did. Oh, I hope I can. Oh, one day I will. Oh, I can't do that because life is too short not to do and have and be 100% of everything that you want. That's it.